In the bustling city of Lagos, there lived a woman named Adora. She was the epitome of grace and beauty, always well dressed, confident, and admired by many. As a successful fashion designer, Adora was known for her impeccable taste and glowing skin, which she guarded jealousy. One fateful Monday morning, Adora decided to visit the bank to deposit a large sum of money she had received for a bridal gown. She was in a high spirit, walking confidently in her stylish Ankara dress and heels. The bank was unusually crowded, and as she waited, she felt a sudden discomfort in her stomach. The spicy suya and groundnut she had enjoyed the night before was now betraying her. Adora tried to ignore it, but the pressure in her stomach became unbearable. She looked around desperately and spotted a public toilet across the street. Adora hated the thought of using the public toilet, but she was out of options. Her discomfort was growing worse by the second. Reluctantly, she crossed the street and approached the small dingling building. An older woman sat at the entrance, collecting fees. 100 naira, 100 naira, the woman said, barely looking up. Adora hesitated, staring at the peeling paint and rusty metal door. But with no other choice, she paid the fee and stepped inside. The smell hit her first, an overwhelming stench of urine and disinfectant. The walls were stained, and the floor was wet with an unidentifiable liquid. Adora grimaced, carefully stepping over the puddles. She quickly entered the store, relieved herself while hovering above the seats, and made a mental note never to do this again. At the sink, she washed her hand with the tiny bar soap provided, ignoring the cracked mirror above it. As she left, she muttered under her breath, "Never again." 2 days later, Adora began to feel an itch. It started midly, but by the third day, it had spread and intensified. She noticed redness on her thigh and a slight discomfort when sitting. Thinking it was just an allergy, she applied some cream and carried on. By the end of the week, the symptoms worsened. The itch turned into a burning sensation, and her once flawless skin broke out in a rash. Adora became irritable and avoided public outings. When the rash began to spread to other parts of her body, she panicked and confided in her best friend Kemi. "You have to see a doctor," Kemi insisted. At the hospital, the doctor examined Adora and listened to her story. After a series of tests, he delivered the diagnosis. "You have a bacterial skin infection, likely caused by contact with an unclean surface," the doctor explained. This type of infection is common with poorly maintained public restrooms. Adora was in shock. She had barely touched anything in the toilets. Sometimes, bacteria can spread through surface you might not even notice, like the zinc, the walls, or even the air in such poorly ventilated spaces. The doctor added. He prescribed antibiotics and medicated cream and warned her about the dangers of using unhygiene facilities. Adora followed the treatment regime religiously, but the recovery process was slow and humiliating. She avoided social events, embarrassed by her condition, and wore long dresses to cover the rash. Her ordeal was a wake-up call. She began to research the dangers of public restroom and was horrified to learn how easily infection could spread through bacteria like E. coli. When Adora finally recovered weeks later, she was determined to ensure that others didn't suffer the same fate. She started an awareness campaign on proper hygiene practices and the need for clean public restrooms. Using her influence as a fashion designer, she organized fundraisers to renovate and maintain public toilets in her community. She also became vocal about encouraging people to carry personal hygiene kits, including hand sanitizer and disposable seat cover. Adora's story became a cautionary tale for all who heard it. The lesson was clear. Health is wealth. No matter how urgent the situation is, prioritize your safety and hygiene above conveniences. Always be prepared and cautioned about where you go and what you touch, because small decisions can have big consequences. From that day on, Adora lived by the principles and taught others to do the same. And whenever people talked about using public restroom, some would inevitably say, "Remember Adora's experience. It is not worth the risk, so the next time you feel pressed, think carefully before stepping into a public restroom. Some risks aren't worth taking. If you must use a public restroom, Carry essentials. Always have a hand sanitizer, tissue, or disinfectant wipe. 2. Avoid contact. Hover above the seat or use a disposable cover. Don't touch surface directly. 3. Wash hands. Use soap and water or hand sanitizer immediately after. And lastly, stay prepared. If the toilet is too dirty, look for an alternative or hold it until you find a cleaner one. Remember, your health always comes first, so always prioritize hygiene. Hi bestie, thank you so much for watching this amazing story. I hope you all enjoyed it and I hope you all learned something from this story. Please kindly leave a comment down below on what you think about this story, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video and share with your friends and your loved ones. To all my subscribers, I want to say a very big thank you to all of you. Thank you for your support and I'll see you in another of my video. Bye bye.